Good evening, I'm Joe Skurzewski and welcome to Midterm Election Night 2018. Now tonight we have live crews across the state in Bismarck, Fargo, Minot, Williston and Dickinson, bringing you coverage of everything election related. All right, Daniela and Andrew, thank you. Now on the other side of the state in West Fargo at the Doubletree Hotel is Megan Hoffman and Jack Springate. Guys, how are the Democrats feeling about their chances tonight? All right, thank you, Andrew Horn. That was Andrew sharing us the big news about Representative-elect Kelly Armstrong. But now we're going to go to Monica Hannon with our analysts Tracy Potter and Rick Kleberg with more. Monica?
This is Joe Skurzewski with NBC North Dakota News. I'm joined with my colleague and teammate here, Andrew Horn. Governor Doug Burgum just wrapped up his 2019 State of the State address. While we wait for the Democratic Party to offer their response to today's comments, Andrew and I are going to break down a little bit about what we heard today. Andrew, what are some of your opening thoughts?
One of the things that I noticed in particular was the points of talking about state and tribal relations. That's going to be a big thing moving forward for a number of reasons. Not only for the oil gas tax revenue, but also for talking about security and relations between local law enforcement and tribal law enforcement. These issues have been a major point for the state over the past couple of years. Tribal leaders looking to make sure they're getting their fair share of revenue from oil. But also, we've seen some high-profile crimes on Indian reservations or against members of Indian reservations in North Dakota, something that's made its all the way to Capitol Hill in Washington. A lot of that focus is going to be, though, on how local law enforcement relates with tribal law enforcement as well. Andrew?
Good afternoon, Hope. Obviously an emotional week here in Newtown. There are dozens of family, friends, supporters, and searchers who are gathering here at the Terrell Center in Newtown. The family is going to speak publicly about the search for Olivia for the first time since news broke earlier this week of the discovery of her body. We still have family members who are pouring in here. We're waiting on a few more family members to show up in about 5-10 minutes. A lot of the people who are here are wearing red. They were encouraged to wear red in support of missing Indigenous people. And I would like to let our viewers know that we're going to be streaming today's press conference on Facebook over our Facebook pages so our viewers can follow on what the family has to say about this months-long search for their missing loved one. But for now, I'm going to toss things back to you in the studio. Good evening, everyone, and thanks for tuning in. Sometimes in life, sports is about much more than a game.
This past weekend, girls basketball teams from across the state took over the gyms at South Prairie to honor the life of 10-year-old Haley Sundsbak.
I headed to South Prairie to learn more about the meaning behind this special tournament in tonight's top story.
Hundreds of young athletes took to the courts at South Prairie, but everyone's thoughts were on the one person not there, at least not physically.
Sometimes she was smiling in the middle of the game, and we know that right now she's smiling every time we take the court.
The players competed in the inaugural Haley Sundsbak Memorial Tournament. The 10-year-old daughter, sibling, student, teammate, and friend lost her life in a boat accident last summer.
Just wanted to do something to honor Haley. She loved basketball. So it was a chance for us to just do something in her honor.
The games mean the world to Haley's parents.
She was one of a kind. She loved her friends, she loved basketball, and having a tournament dedicated for her and to go to such a great cause, she'd be more than happy.
And her teammates, who fondly remember their times together.
It was really fun. We played a lot together. We were both kind of the same things. We were both posts.
Teams grades 3rd through 8th from 36 different schools visited South Prairie, some as far as Divide County.
It's just fun to see North Dakota and the whole community for lots of miles away really supporting how good North Dakota friendly is, and we all support each other.
The proceeds will go to a graduating senior at both Des Lacs, Burlington and South Prairie School.
I know for sure she's looking down at us with her big, beautiful smile and her big blue eyes, and she is smiling down on all of us right now.
Carrying on a young girl's life, legacy, and love of the game.
Haley's team won their level this weekend, and the organizers say they plan to hold the tournament again next year. I just wanted to show you, this was one of the shirts right here that they had at the tournament. They made with Haley's picture on it, and on the back it says Haley Sundsbak Memorial Tournament. I also want to thank Haley's family and Sheila Green-Girding and some of the others for taking the time to speak with me about a wonderful event that they did to honor Haley's memory this weekend. Great friendships often come about by a chance encounter between two people with a shared passion. That's the basis for the story behind Daniel Starks, a local up-and-coming musician, and his friend Joe Streeper, who lives at an assisted living facility in Velva. I sat down with Daniel and Joe to learn more about how music and one very special instrument has brought them together.
Swear my feet stuck to the ground.
The sounds of yesteryear filling the halls of Valley View Manor.
I just had no choice.
Daniel Starks sharing his gift of guitar.
Ooh, she sure looks happy.
A gift from a friend. Starks first brought his talents to Valley View a month ago. That's when he met Joe Streeper.
And I found out that Joe here was a guitar player, and so we just kind of had this connection.
The next day, a message.
If you're going, I got a text from his daughter telling me that Dad had wanted to give me one of his guitars. And smoking big cigars. I just couldn't believe it, how this even happened. It was just kind of like, are you sure you got the right guy?
Joe's Gretsch White Falcon, 1959 select. Flash forward to the present. Daniel performing again at Valley View with the strings of the White Falcon between his fingers.
Not as good as you, though.
Using this gift to play the likes of Johnny Cash and Ricky Nelson.
Well, I knew Mary Lou, we never part.
The 83-year-old still takes time to impart some wisdom on the youngster.
Yeah, you're doing fine on that thing.
God only knows how much longer these two musicians will have together.
I know how you're supposed to do it.
But for now, Daniel and Joe will enjoy every minute.
Still have that recording?
Playing to the tune of life.
Well, I'd like to thank Daniel and Joe for speaking with me and welcoming me into their lives. A little more information about Daniel. He's going to be performing at the Norris Kustfest later this year. He's also performing at a number of other assisted living facilities around town. It really was cool to see how music is sort of an intergenerational bond and brought these